If you want to learn Japanese conversations, then one of the best ways to do it is to actually hear real conversations and read along. Why? Well, imagine you're sitting and you're listening to someone talk. They're saying a lot of things and all these words are flying past you. You're not going to understand much. But if you have a line by line transcript of everything that is said in that conversation, then you will understand it after a few tries. And this is where Japanese Pod 101 comes in. For example, let's take a look at this is Japanese Nihongo Dojo. Okay. And the one tool that will absolutely skyrocket your Japanese conversation skills and overall language skills is the dialogue tool. And a dialogue tool essentially gives you just the conversation, nothing else. No explanations, no banter, and with the dialogue tool you also get the English meanings, the romaji so you can read along, the hiragana, and the regular pure Japanese version of kanji. So for example, here's what the lesson sounds like.
ジャパニーズコート1枚でございます。ナオミです。
Peter here, beginners here, 50 left in our very first.
皆さんこんにちは。はじめまして。大空春也と申します。出身は東京都足立区です。家族は母が一人、父はいません。有名ではありませんが、プロボクサーです。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。今年、
And that was just the first of many fun.
This is my choice Adachi word for Harriet's hometown with just
So you see, the lesson itself is 16 minutes long, but you can take just the conversation and you can play it. And it's only
皆
30
さんこんに
seconds
ちは。
long.
はじめまして。大空春也と申します。出身は東京都足立区です。家族は母が一人、父はいません。有名ではありませんが、プロボクサーです。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。今年、彼女と結婚します。彼女の名前は天童美優です。千葉県成田市出身です。明日、美優の家族と会います。緊張します。
So what's powerful about this is you get the whole conversation, you get the translations, you get the meanings, and you can review it line by line.
皆さんこんにちは。はじめまして。大空春也と申します。
And you can
皆
review
さん
these
こんに
lines
ちは。
again and again.
はじめまして。大空春也と申します。出身は東京都足立区です。
So now that you know what the dialogue tool is like, here's what you should do with it to learn Japanese conversation. The first and foremost thing is listen to it as many times as possible.
皆さんこんにちは。はじめまして。
So after you finish the whole 16-minute lesson, after you listen to the explanations, listen to this again because now you will understand it. And not only will you understand it, you will train your ear to all the words and the usage and the grammar and everything. So the very first thing is listen and review just the dialogue track. Number two, the next thing you should do is listen and read along. So
皆さんこんにちは。はじめまして。大空春也と申します。出身は東京都足立区です。家族は母が一人、父はいません。有名ではありませんが、プロボクサーです。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。今年、彼女と結婚します。彼女の名前は天童美優です。千葉県成田市出身です。明日、美優の家族と会います。緊張します。
So imagine listening to that again and again. First and foremost, your reading improves. Second of all, your listening improves because, it's one thing to hear a word and it's another thing to actually see it on paper in front of you or on the screen in front of you. So if you just heard it and if it's the first time you heard it, it's going to go one ear and out the other. But if you have the meaning over here, then suddenly, switch over and be like, all right, I see what that means. So listen and read along and challenge two senses at the same time, speaking and listening. And the more ways you can get your brain to fire, the better you will understand Japanese. The third thing you can do is read out loud. Now, we just covered reading already, but we didn't really talk about reading out loud. And when you're reading out loud, you are essentially practicing Japanese. Since these conversations are practical to some extent, you are not just saying anything, you're practicing things that people actually say in real life, right? So, for example,
皆さんこんにちは。
は
じめまして。
大空春也と申します。Obviously, if you ever get to introduce yourself in Japanese, you have to be able to introduce yourself politely. And this is the way it is.
出身は東京都足立区です。
So this is a little harder because the guy speaks fast. But this is the beauty of the line by line breakdown, is that you can play it again and again until you master it. So, 出身は東京足立区です。
出身は東京都足立区です。
東京都。Okay, I'm missing the と。東京都足立区です。
出身は東京都足立区です。
出身は東京都足立区です。See? And the more times you do it, the better you get at it. And obviously, you'll know that this is 東京都足立区。
家族は母が一人、父はいません。
家族は母が一人、父はいません。
家族は母が一人、
父はいません。
父はいません。家族は母が一人、
父はいません。
父はいません。家族は母が一人、
父はい
父はい
ません。
ません。家族は母が一人、父はいません。
And if you want to make it super easy, just turn on little margin.
家族は母が一人、
父はいません。
父はいません。
See? And again, so if you're reading along, reading out loud, you're practicing your speaking skills. The fourth thing you can do with this is, if you scroll up here, you can actually download this review track, just the conversation. So let's say you finish this whole 16-minute lesson. What do? My suggestion is download this specific track, save it to your phone. Now let's say you go on and do some other lessons. Let's say you finished 20 lessons. So what does that mean? You have 20 dialogues on your phone, and each one is like around 30 seconds, 20 seconds long. And now whenever you have a free moment, open up your phone, press the play button, and listen to just the conversations. And you're not listening to any English here, you're listening to conversations that you've already learned. So what does this do? By listening again and again, you're only solidifying and reinforcing the Japanese that you heard. And if you've done all the things that I mentioned, then, if you spoke out loud, if you broke every word down, then really, you're just one step even closer to speaking better and better Japanese. Your listening gets super sharp. You can understand things the moment you hear them. You don't need to read along anymore. So this is the power of the dialogue track. It's a simple thing. So my recommendation is, after you're done with a Japanese Pod 1 lesson, after you read, after you review, after you listen, download it to keep, and then play it like a song.